Hello everybody, you've come to the right place if you want to improve your customer service scores and sustain high levels of success in customer satisfaction results. All right, so here we go. These are some of the tips, secrets on what I teach and train other hotels on how they can improve their customer service scores and sustain high levels of success. All right, so here we go. Obviously, you need to be fundamentally sound throughout the whole entire organization, and there needs to be a mindfulness to each associate in each department in doing their job. All right, we'll talk about that a bit later in this video, but I want to start at the front desk. All right, front desk is oftentimes the first interaction. All right, the first impression, the guest's first impression of the hotel, and the last one. Oftentimes, it's just what it is. And so, with that being said, it is a crucial component to your success if you want to achieve high levels of customer satisfaction results. And so, with that being said, you need to teach your associates about guest perception. And what I mean by that is guest perception is reality. Regardless of if it's fair or not, their perception is the reality. What their experience is what they're going to go home and write about and fill out on the survey. So, a best practice is when you have a brand new associate that comes in, to your organization, give them some information, arm them with some tools that will help them, that will allow them to beforehand understand what may be coming at them consistently, the common scenarios that are going to play out, and some challenges that come along with it, in addition to other situations that may occur but not as frequently. All right, what you're doing with this is basically, if you've hired someone that has never worked in a hotel or in customer service, this is even more prevalent. All right, but even if they have tons of experience, even if they were a supervisor, whatever the case may be, you still want to arm them with this information. All right, because you're bringing more awareness to it. So what I would suggest, best practices that I've run at several hotels all around the world, is prepare a document where you can hand them out. Should be a few pages, Microsoft Word. Print it out, make it nice, but lay out the common challenges and situations them at the front desk will often go through. All right, so you know what they are if you're a hotel manager and you're managing your specific hotel. You know the common situations at your particular hotel, but the general challenges that a front desk agent has across the board in most hotels is early check-in requests, guest wants double beds. We don't have double beds available. Guest wants a late checkout. They're an elite guest. They're used to getting this preferential treatment, but the hotel is sold out and unable to extend the courtesy late checkout any longer. And so I'll lay out some more examples in this video, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to lay out what the challenge is, what situation they're going to be in, and the best verbiage to offer that guest, and the best way to dance out of the situation, so to speak. All right, and there's different ways, and obviously you're going to have to teach and train the details of this. All right, so obviously saying the correct verbiage will help them not go into quicksand. All right, because obviously what happens is, in the heat of the moment, if they say the wrong word or words, the guest can become enraged in a delicate situation, and they may use those words against the associate, and then it's just a chain reaction, and it's going downhill from there. All right. So an example of this is basically a guest comes to check in at 2:30 p.m. Check-in time is at 3 o'clock. All right. So we're almost there. We're almost at check-in time. And let's lay out an example of this. This particular guest is an elite guest, and they, so by elite guest, what I mean is they're loyal to the brand's other properties with the chain, and they have several stays, and they're recognized as an elite loyal guest to the corporation, and as a result, they're used to special perks and amenities, and they've come to expect these things without even asking because of who they are and how many times they've stayed. So this elite guest, and especially if someone's not familiar with working in the hotel industry before, you really need to explain to the associate of the expectations of allowing them to put themselves in the guest's shoes, which is really important when you're explaining all about guest perception, because obviously it's basically an open book test. Most oftentimes, you know what the guest wants. We just have to give it to them as best we can, and if we can't give it to them, what can we do, or what can we say, or what can we, how can we dance out of the situation as best as possible to calm the guest down and ensure that the guest's lasting perception of our interaction and of what we've done for them is they feel good about it. They're able to move on from the interaction and enjoy the rest of their stay, and we can continually build that up. The goal is for each guest at the end of each interaction in your hotel to perceive, and this is necessary and we'll talk about why it's necessary for the customer service scores to get to the desired result. If you need to have an impressive interaction at every interaction, and that's how the guest needs to perceive it. So if you create this document and you lay out these examples, and you teach the associate, all right, so back to the example that I was just laying out about the early check-in at 2:30 p.m. It's the elite guest, right? So first and foremost, I would advise this associate to put the guest at ease in the midst of their check-in, in letting them know that we're going to try to take care of them. So the way I would word it and handle it and put them at ease would be, Mr. Johnson, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back with us, to our hotel. We appreciate it. Okay, so let me look into your reservation. I see you booked a king 2-bedroom suite. So thank you for that. We do have that information here. Let me look into what is available. We were sold out last night, and we were sold out again this evening. It's a little bit before check-in time. However, let me see what I can do. I'm going to try to get you in a little bit early, but in the least case, we can knock out all the paperwork and hold your luggage, and we'll get you all squared. Well, let me see what I can do. So by preemptively striking that situation and putting the guest at ease in terms of, we know we have their booking, we have what they are seeking, we know what the king 2-bedroom suite, and I'm actively striving to find that room, and the guest is aware that we were sold out last night and we're sold out again tonight. So an elite guest should understand that. Will they understand that? That's a different story, because they want what they want. Everyone has different expectations and things of that nature. However, if you preemptively strike that, you explain the situation in a fluid process as you're taking care of them, you give yourself a chance. And that's what it's about, teaching your associates and positioning themselves, teaching them how to position themselves for the best chance at a positive interaction and a winning perception from the guest at that particular interaction. So I would lay out the proper verbiage on this document of the early check-in and the the options and the can-do options, the can-do sayings that are going to be necessary to advise the guest if in the event the room is unable to be ready until 3 o'clock, until check-in time. Then obviously you're going to offer the Wi-Fi, the different amenities that you have in terms of the pool, the fitness center, the golf course, anything like that. Offer the complimentary, tea and coffee, danishes and bagels, whatever you have going on in your hotel or resort. Local, transportation to attractions, whatever attractions you have in the area. You can suggest this as you find what the guest is looking to do or prefers to do. All right, because obviously it's going to be, you're going to play the situation different if they just got to Las Vegas and they want to explore, they want to hit the casinos, they want to do hiking, whatever they want to do. Help them get on their way, situate them, hold their luggage, give them peace of mind that we've knocked out the check-in process, that there's no more paperwork to be done, everything's squared away. We will contact them via email or telephone, whichever they prefer, as soon as the room is ready, and we can send the luggage up if they prefer, unless they would rather us keep it in the luggage closet at the bell stand or at the front desk. So all of these different kind of situations. All right, so obviously we're not going to go into a million examples. I think that's a suitable example to allow you to understand on how to create this document and on how to teach and train your associates on the details of what the guest is thinking and how to mathematically get to, at the end of it, the guest thinking, oh, that was nice of them. I appreciate that. Oh, that was really nice. Oh, they made that easy for me. Oh, that gentleman or that associate is very nice. Oh, thank you. These are the nature of the positive aspects of thought that we want the guest to be in after we interact with them. So, however you get to that, however you can teach your associates to understand that, is imperative. All right, so create the document and don't just give them the document, talk about it. All right, and use it as a tool ongoing. Really spend some time to make a nice document that you can use in your training arsenal to prepare them and to continually develop their mentality. All right, so very important, guest perception. And what I would suggest is to, when you have your hotel group meetings or your department meetings, talk about a few different perception matters. And if you're, or one of your supervisors or one of your managers are doing something phenomenal in terms of building a guest perception or climbing out of quicksand and winning the interaction at the end of the interaction, then use this as a talking point, as a lesson to teach, to continually build your associates' mentality. All right, so there's always an awareness to guest perception and winning each interaction. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the absolutely vital notion of mindfulness in each interaction. You must get every associate in the whole organization to be mindful in the moment of what they're doing, of their job, to be aware of what they're doing and of striving in the interactions to impress the guests. So in other videos, or if you've read any of my my articles, we talk a lot about the phrase that I coined, building your pipeline of tens. This is how I always explain it to hotels when I go into hotels to help their performance and kind of get them to understand what the mission is with each associate. And how it goes is basically this. When I was a front desk agent, when I first started out, 2003. Um, Really early on, I learned that my general manager was obsessed with the scores, with the guest service scores, and I wanted to get promoted. 2003. I was a brand new hotel person, and I wanted to grow, get better, get promoted, make more money, all that kind of stuff. So when I found out that my general manager was obsessed with the scores, I thought to myself, how can I help? And long story short, I became an expert at the guest service scores, and I really studied it. I read books. I was reflective. I asked questions to people that had been in the business there at that particular hotel for a long time, including conversations with the general manager. And I decided to really develop myself and to be on a mission of being my best self and offering the best possible customer service than anyone could ever imagine. So, all right, I decided that. Now, in deciding that and putting it into action, what was birthed as the pipeline of tens became this. I was always able to reassure that particular general manager in the notion of, don't worry, we got some good surveys coming in. We got some tens coming in. We got some tens that are going to roll in. The reason I was able to always reassure this general manager and give him peace of mind, even if the scores were trending downward because of heating or air conditioning or whatever challenge that the hotel had, I knew that the tens would come in of the guests that I encountered, over the last couple of days. For example, let's talk about a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At this particular hotel, we had a lot of guests that stayed on Friday and Saturday night. They checked out on Sunday. I always worked 3 to 11:30 or 3 to 12 Friday and Saturday, and then I worked like 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. for the departure, the big departure on Sunday. And I knew that each guest that I encountered, that I interacted with, was a winning type of interaction, right? Because I knew it. I read the guest's face. I connected with them. I personalized my service. I put all my heart, spirit, enthusiasm into each interaction, and I did that by just engaging, just being genuine, just sincerely wanting to offer great service and impress the guest. But that was a key goal of mine. I came in with the mentality every single day, time to impress the guest. Let's go. Time to get these tens. I made it into a game. I created my own little game of it, and it became something bigger than that. But really, I'm just a competitive guy that at the time was playing sports and into sports, and I love competition. There was a need for us to improve our customer service scores, so I jumped in to try to help. And I knew that from the 50 guests that I checked in on Friday, from the 75 guests that I checked in on Saturday, I knew all those guests that I checked in, that I put the energy forth required to produce a good score, right? And analyzing all the data and looking into what goes into it and how the scores come to be, reading books, asking questions, being reflective on what works well in terms of the guest comments, and then being reflective on myself, evaluating myself, gaining perspective, being flexible, tweaking things, adding things to my game, eliminating things from my game. But back to the point was, out of those 50 guests on Friday, 75 guests on Saturday, I knew when each guest checked in that I put all the heart and energy forth in terms of engaging, offering things to do in the area, making people feel special. And it's very simple in how you do everything that you have in your arsenal, you use to your advantage. So if I have a corner room If I have a room with a bigger living room that's the same price, I'll make people feel special about it in terms of personalizing the service. So, Mr. Jones checks in with his family. Hey, Mr. Jones, how was the trip in? Okay, great. Glad you had a great trip in. Is it your first time to the hotel? You're here with your family. Any fun things to do in the air? You're looking. What are you looking to do? I got plenty of suggestions, and I can help arrange any transportation that can make it really easy for you. Right? And then you're going through the check-in process, and then I decide, that's a corner room. The living room's a little bit bigger. He's got his family here. It's his first time here, so I'm going to use all that information to spin it in a way where Mr. Jones perceives me as somewhat of a hero or a nice guy, or that I did something nice for him, or I cared about him, or things of this nature. And I'm going to word it as such as, Mr. Jones. Also, good news. I got you a really nice room for your family. You got the king bed separated with the living room separated by a door into the living room. And this room is a little bit more spacious than the other rooms because it is built on the corner, so you have a larger living room space. So it's your first time in the hotel, so I want to do something nice for you and your family, so you'll be a lot more comfortable during your stay. Right? Boom. It's as simple as that. Little tiny things where, the guest at the end of that interaction, if you do it in that fashion, should be, oh, thanks, Andrew. That was nice of you. And then he tells his wife, hey, good news. We got a little bit bigger room. We got a corner room. It's gonna be nice and quiet. Andrew hooked us up. And then, a key point too is that you should, especially when you do nice things for people. This is crucial. You should tell them, Mr. Jones, you may receive a survey. If you do, we will really appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much, right? The timing of that, after you do something nice for them, you say it in a nonchalant way. And, if you do it in that fashion, especially after he just thanked you for hooking him up or taking care of him or being nice, the perception or reaction should be like, all right, I got you. Absolutely. They'll email that to me. I'll fill that out for you, Andrew. Thank you. Right? That more often than not is the case, and it's imperative that you teach your associates on that notion, because through knowing the data, the big corporation survey data over the last 3 years, there's a 20% chance that a guest that receives a survey in their email box will fill it out. 20%, if they get it, they'll fill it out. Now, you can improve those chances. You can improve those percentages by putting forth this energy and spirit all through every single interaction. So, Friday night there was 50 of Mr. Joneses. Saturday night there was 75. And you can't always give a corner suite away, a corner room away, and you can't always do these kind of things, but you can still give everything you have. You can still say, hey, Mr. Jones, it's your first time here. Enjoy your stay. I know you got a lot going on with your family, but if you need anything, I'll be here Friday. I'll be here all night till 11:30. Tomorrow as well. I'll be here Sunday, 10 a.m. So if I can do anything, I'll be your personal concierge. Please let me know. It would be my pleasure to assist you and take care of you. Just give me a call at any time during your stay, or here's my card. Shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help you. So I knew that the whole weekend I gave everything I had. I did welcome check-in callbacks. Hey, Mr. Jones, it's Andrew at the front desk. Just checked in 15 minutes ago. Just wondering how the room is, if I may do anything for you. Okay, great. Well, I hope you have a wonderful stay. Remember, I'm down here. Appreciate you. Enjoy your stay. Hope you and your family have a wonderful stay with us. Right? I knew I did that 50 times, 75 times on Saturday. Then the departure comes on Sunday. Mr. Jones, sorry to see you go. It was nice to meet you and your family. Glad you had a wonderful stay. I know you have my card. Shoot me an email next time you come back. I will always see to it that we show you an excellent stay, a wonderful experience here. We appreciate you. We hope to see you back. Have a safe trip back. Thank you again for being our guest. We appreciate it. So that's why I was able to reassure that general manager Don't worry, we got some 10s coming in. We're going to be fine. And the 10s always came in. Now, I use that as an example because the mission from the organization should be, how can we get everyone with this mentality? How can we get everyone with this mentality and working towards this mission at the same time, each interact to be mindful in each interaction? All right, so